All right, hi everybody. If you can hear me, you should be able to hear me now. Welcome to the last installment of Move United with Ability 360's wheelchair training. I'm happy to be hosting this one with you guys. We're going to go over 3 types of workouts today. So if you missed one of the ones we've done before, you'll kind of get a recap. If you've done them all with me, that's awesome. You'll be really good for this workout. You'll be prepared for it. So that means we have core, we have cardio, and we have a bit of a circuit to do. We're actually going to do it in this order. We're going to have a core workout. It's going to be 3 exercises. We're going to go through that nice and slow. It'll be a good way to get warmed up and feel strong for the next portion. We're going to go into our circuit training. Once we get into the circuit training, it's going to get a little higher intensity. You'll start sweating a little bit, and then we'll finish with our cardio portion. So that once you already have your blood flowing, then you'll really start to sweat at the end of that. So it should be a really good way to burn some extra calories today as well. But we're gonna build up slowly. We're gonna go through our stretches and our warmth together. So in fact, just to get started off here, Julie, you're in the audience. Good to see you again today. We're gonna go over some breathing, and then we're gonna get right back into the exercises. So we're starting off with this really tall posture. Take one hand, kind of place it on your diaphragm, other hand up by your collarbone, and then you should feel progressively. You should feel the air push your hand that's on the diaphragm out, and then the one that's by your collarbone if you're breathing deeply. So we're trying to get a full breath cycle a couple times. And wait till the air is all the way out. Let's go 2 more. One more deep breath in. All right, let's get a little bit of stretching here. So first one, most common one we've been doing, take one arm across, hook it into your elbow, just kind of grab onto your shoulder and bring it across here, open up the back of your shoulder. Still try to keep your posture up nice and high. I'm not gonna hold it here too long today. After a few more seconds, we'll switch sides. We'll stick to about 2 or 3 stretches for today because we got a lot to get through. And then other side, same thing, just hooking it with my elbow, and then bringing it across. Couple deep breaths here too, trying to let those muscles relax around the shoulder. Feel your shoulder blade move away from your spine. And then go back to the other arm. Try to get it behind the head. Again, we're doing this one by reaching down. You should feel the little bony prominences on your vertebrae. And then push up on the arm there. Or if you can, get overhead and pull back and give yourself a little more of a stretch. We're trying to open up everything on the side here. Just kind of rest into this position. And then switch sides there. Same thing. Start over the shoulder. Reach back as far as you can tolerate. Again, if it doesn't go very far, it's not a big deal. You can give it some assistance. Try to do that. Or reach overhead, get the elbow. Again, you're just reaching down, trying to get your arm overhead and trying again to open up, stretch out your lats. Lats and triceps. They'll both be pretty involved in our circuit training. And we have 4 little things to go through with our warm-up here. Last one, let's take an arm behind you. You don't have to go directly behind you. You can put that arm back behind the wheelchair. You can put it back on a desk or something behind you, however you want to do it. But you're trying to get your arm behind you, and you're trying to get it back pretty far. So I'm going to stretch it this way. Very similar stretch, or rest it back behind me and lean away from it. But this is my preferred version right here. Arm behind my back. Stretching out the shoulder. You can't quite get there. Let your arm hang and then turn away from it. You can do that at different angles, turning away, just opening up your rotator cuff, trying to relax it into position. And then we'll do the other side, same thing. I'll demonstrate again from this side. So again, you can start here kind of use the armrest or something on your side to block it and turn away. We go a little further back, or you can pull it all the way across. Just resting there. And if you notice one side's tighter than others, or than the other, that's totally normal. This side for me is much tighter. All right. Next one, we got shoulder rolls. So this one's pretty easy. You're just going to stay right where you're at. Put your shoulders forward and up. Push them backwards and down. So then roll forward and up, backward and down. Kind of just find a spot to place your hands where they don't need to move. The less your hands move, the better. As you're doing this, start thinking about moving your shoulder blades. Not so much your shoulder joint. If you're able to move your scapula, you'll be getting a lot larger motion or a much better range of motion on this. And over the other way, so go back and up and forward and down. So back and up, forward and down. A few more here. All right, then we got wonky jacks. So these are where you're tilting and reaching overhead. So again, more of a stretch. A little side bend with an elbow raise. Side bend with an elbow raise. You can lean over on the armrest. Just make sure you're pushing the other elbow as high as you can get it. All right, a few more. And lastly, we have forward bend. So right where you're at in the chair, all you're going to do, lean forward, and you can either push yourself off your knees or just go to the point where you can tolerate it and use the muscles of your low back to lift you. That's the preferred version. It's a little harder. Lean forward, then use your postural muscles to correct you, so everything along your spine. But if you can't quite get that, you can help with your hands. Just go down as low as you can manage, back up. A few more of these. All right. Okay, we should be warmed up here. So before we get into the workout, I just want to remind everyone, you can get water whenever you need it. So if you feel like you're getting thirsty or you feel like you need to breathe for a second, that's fine. You don't have to push through the entire thing. This first section is on a timer. Our first exercise is going to be about 45 seconds each. And then our next two after that are going to be a minute each. They shouldn't be too intense. Again, this is the core portion of it. So you're not going to be sweating too much yet. It's not going to be overly difficult. The difficulty will kick up as we get through the workout though. So again, if you need water, you need a towel, you need to take a second to catch your breath, that's totally fine. But do try to jump back in when you're ready, okay, so we can keep it going. But if you guys are ready out there, we're gonna jump right into our first core exercise. I'll break it down really quickly, and then we'll start a timer and we'll do it together. So the very first core exercise is an isometric hold. So find something near you that you can push against, and kind of at a sideways or at an angle, and I'll demonstrate against the wall here. Walls are great, side of a desk, anything you have that's going to prevent you from turning. So I'm going to go sideways to the wall. I'm going to take both hands out and I'm going to push in. Now, if you can't use the wall, or if you can't use the hands to extend, you can go with your arms crossed and you can push your elbow into the wall here. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to push into the wall as if I was going to push myself over. Once I feel that tension build up on my side, right through here, I know I have it. I'm just going to hold that. So we're going to do that for 45 seconds, and then we'll switch sides here. We're going to go back and forth 3 rounds per side. So in 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds, press into that wall. Find something you can push against. Anything that can keep your obliques firing the whole time. And while you're doing this, you're trying to keep your chin off of your chest, trying to keep your back straight. You just feel like you have a constant pressure you're working with. If it feels like it's lifting one side of your hips out of the seat, that's perfect. That means you're doing it right. 10 more, a little more than 10 seconds left. Good, and 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Same exact thing. All right, Starting over again in 3, 2, 1, other way. Push against whatever you got. Try to push one side of your hips out of the chair. Try to push yourself away from the wall, whatever you're using. Keep your chin up. All right, about 20 seconds left. Almost there. Last 5 seconds. Keep it tight. And done. All right. Breathe for a second, and we'll go back to the other side. We have 2 more rounds on each side, and then we get into some of the more fun exercises. This one's the most stationary, most boring exercise we have for the day. And in 3, 2, 1, push against that wall and hold. Don't have as many people in this week. Everyone's late. All right, 20 seconds left. Stay in there. Keep that tension built up. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Good. Back to the other side. Halfway through. All right, in 3, 2, 1, right into it. All right, coming up on the last portion here, 15 more seconds. Almost done. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Last set. Last set of these. So one more time on the first side you did. In 3, 2, 1, push in. At this point, you should have a good feel for which muscles are firing. You're just going to try to keep them active the whole time. Almost done. This is the last round on this side. Just 10 seconds left. Almost there, and time. Okay, last one, other side. Then we're on to our next core exercise. So very last one of these. 3, 2, 1, and go. Push in and hold it. Twenty seconds left. Keep pushing. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay. All right. So these next couple exercises are going to go for a minute each. So we're gonna do these a couple times. Again, 3 rounds, but they won't be as boring. You aren't sitting still for any of these. So starting off, we have our upward woodshop. So you're using a lot of your core. You're using a lot of you're moving your whole torso essentially. So try to keep your hips seated and keep them even. If you feel like you're rocking too much, that's kind of you're kind of wasting energy on that. What you want to do is keep your hips still and then use or try to manipulate your torso or manipulate your ribcage specifically with all your abdominals. So the upward wood chops look like this. We're putting both hands on one side. We're lifting up and across and then dropping right back down, up and across. So you can imagine you have an axe and you're chopping upward at a tree trunk. And we're going to drop it to the other side. Same thing. This is how we're going to go for 1 minute. So we have a minute on this one, and then we have one more exercise after this. So starting in 3, 2, 1. 1 minute, upward wood chops. Try to keep a constant pace. Try to keep your hips in the chair. And just keep moving the whole time. Keep moving. Halfway through already. We have a similar exercise during the circuit training. So be warmed up for that. Just keep lifting up and across. Alternate sides. Don't stop. 10 more seconds. Almost there. And time. All right. Breathe for a moment. We have another round of those, and then we've got our last core exercise here. So 1 more minute on these. All right, in 3, 2, 1, wood chops. Up and across. Up and across. Constant motion. And we're about halfway through this round. Almost done. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay. Last core exercise, we're just alternating. We're doing bicycles. So what you can do is lean the seat back if you want to make this extra hard on yourself. So you can be at a decline. You don't necessarily need to do that though. What we're doing is we're rotating the opposite shoulder to our knee. So left knee, right shoulder, right knee, left shoulder. And what we're doing here is either with arms crossed. I think this is the best way to go about it. You're just twisting and lifting your knee, twisting and lifting your knee. Higher up, it's a little harder, but it's about the same thing. If you can't quite move the legs or don't have as much range of motion on the legs, the same exercise applies. You just got to go a little further. So starting in 3 seconds here, we're going for a minute. 3, 2, 1, 1 minute. Alternating wheelchair bicycles. Just bringing your knee up to your shoulder. All right, looking good. 15 seconds in already. Just try to keep moving the whole time. You have 2 rounds of this. Might be getting a little warm. You might start feeling like you're going to sweat. This is about a good point in the workout to start feeling like you're moving better. Stiffness you might have had before the workouts should be gone. 10 more seconds. Almost done. Time. All right. Rest for a moment. We got 1 more of those. In fact, I'm going to grab a drink while we're waiting. Remember, you guys are not waiting for a cue on the drinks. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Last round. Same thing. Going right into it. I was going for the 45-second. Now we're halfway through. Halfway through. Last core exercise we have. All right, we're almost done. 10 more seconds. Three, two, one, and time. Okay. Relax there for a moment. And we're on to section 2. So now it's going to kick up in difficulty a little bit. We're going for a circuit. Okay, so we're going 4 exercises back to back to back. So we're going one to the next with no breaks on these. All right. The cardio portion, we even have some breaks. These are a little lower intensity though, so you should be able to keep going for the most of this. If you have to take little pauses, that's okay. We're going to do 4 exercises that I'm going to break down, and then we'll get right into them for the workout. So the first exercise is an overhead reach. 2 ways to do it. So for a minute, you can go here or single arm. I'm going to stick to this one. While you're doing this, just make sure that the other arm stays up. You don't want it to drop to your lap or anything. You want to keep your arms up. If you're going for the double reach, you don't have to worry about that. You're just going to keep going the whole time. So that's the first exercise. The second are arm circles. We're going to start, and they're small arm circles. So these aren't big swings. These are small and controlled, so they burn a little more. I'm doing palms forward or thumbs up. I find that to be the best way to do it. It's going backwards, exactly the same thing. Third one, we're pushing off. We're doing push-ups off of the chair. There's 2 ways, or 2 or 3 ways to do this. I'm going to give you guys a couple options. So number 1 is with the arm rests. Standard versions with the arm rests. Elbows are pointing at the ceiling, and you're just pushing yourself up as much as you can. Next version is on the seat there, pushing off. You're really just trying to get the elbows to lock out. So you're trying to get full extension of the arms as much as you can. So pushing off of the seat works just as well. The last version doesn't involve triceps as much. That doesn't involve triceps at all, really. What you're doing here is you're pushing down, you're driving your elbows into the armrests and pushing yourself out of the chair. Same exact thing as what we were just doing. We accomplished the same motion, but now you're using much more of your lower traps and your pecs to do that. All right, so those are our very last exercise in the circuit is a rowboat. So you're kind of like the Woodshops going the opposite way. So you lean in and then you switch sides, lean in. So this time you're going down and pulling yourself back up. So it's a lot more of your postural muscles involved and things along your spine. So we're going overhead reach, one of those 2 versions, arm circles, push-ups, rowboats. 1 minute each, no breaks. All right, and 3, 2, 1, overhead reach. Just lifting up, working on your shoulders. Try to keep moving the whole time. You're good. We're already at 25 seconds. Fifteen seconds left. Then we go into our arm circles. So these should burn after doing this one, especially if you've been going with both hands. 3, 2, 1. Whew, arm circles. So starting right there. Slow and controlled. They're not too big. You're just moving the arms the whole time. Now I might have a burn. If you guys were in here with me last week, My arms got really burned out doing a lot of this. I'm gonna go the other direction. Halfway through on this one. If you need to take it down a notch, I forgot to mention here, you just bend your elbows. Same exact exercise, just kind of shortens the lever arm so you got, feels like it's less weight to move around. It's exactly the same exercise. Goes both ways. 10 more seconds on this one. Then we're switching to wheelchair push-ups. So pushing yourself out of the chair however you can right now. Working your arms, keep your elbows bending and then going straight. The more your elbows move for this, the better. Keep moving, keep moving. Halfway through on these. Arms should definitely be burning by now. Might be sweating a little bit. 5 more seconds. And row your boat. 1 minute. So lean in, reach by your side, lean in, reach down. So try to twist a little bit with this. Where you're trying to lift your shoulders with the muscles along your spine. You're not trying to swing yourself up. Your hips should stay pretty still. They shouldn't move too much in the seat. If you find yourself kind of wobbling around a little bit more below the waist, try to control it a little more with the muscles in your torso. Twenty more seconds. Almost done. And time. Good. All right. We have 1 more of those to do. So we'll go through that full circuit again. We're going to take a 1-minute break. So deep breath. This is now definitely a good time to get water if you haven't already. If you need to get a towel to wipe off any sweat, take a second to catch your breath. So again, the workout or the circuit we're doing is overhead reach first. So double arm or single. We have our arm circles, either arms extended or bent. You saw me, I had to bring my elbows in order to keep the form. Then wheelchair push-ups, followed by rowboats. The last 4-minute section on our circuit training. Then we're going into cardio. And so if you haven't sweat yet, if you haven't been sweating yet, you will be. So in about 10 seconds here, we're going to start again, going through that full circuit, starting with those overhead reaches here. In 3, 2, 1, start reaching. Just keep a constant pace. Keep moving the whole time. If it's not difficult enough, go with the double reach. Try to keep your back straight. You're gonna have to tilt a little bit in order to do this, but it's kind of been my cue for the day for the most part, is just keep your hips locked to the seat. Looking good. 20 seconds left on this. Five more seconds. And time. Now we go to arm circles. 1 minute. In a few seconds, you'll see me change directions, and I'll change form a little bit to keep going. But this is a difficult one to maintain. Go the other way. And then I bend my arms, go back the other way. Few more seconds here, and 15 left in this circuit, or this portion of it. Going the other direction. Five more seconds here. And wheelchair push-ups. Bring my armrest down. Going for a full minute. Getting as many as you can at a pace that allows you to keep moving. So try not to completely blast your muscles in the first 20 seconds. I'd rather you guys keep moving for the full minute. Looking good. 20 more seconds. We only have one more exercise after this, and we're done with the circuit portion. 3, 2, 1, and row your boat. Last portion. So lean in, lift the shoulders. Lean in, lift the shoulders. Keep going the whole time. On this one, you want your torso moving quite a bit. You should feel like you're leaning forward and getting back up over and over and over again. Five seconds. And time. All right. That's the end of the circuit portion. Like I said, if you haven't been sweating yet, you will. Well, you should be feeling warm by now. So for the last portion of the workout, we have a little bit of cardio to do. All right, we're doing this pretty strictly too. We're not going to get too fancy with the cardio today. We're going to talk about really quickly the two ways that we can achieve cardiovascular training. We talked about it a little bit last week. Two main ways, I should say. The number one way is just to do sustained activity for a certain portion of time. So rather than just sitting here and moving one motion, we're going to do two, where it's going to oscillate between doing wheelchair jacks and then crossovers, or just like you're jogging and running in place, running man. We're going to do each of those for a minute, kind of at a moderate pace. So think about your maximum effort and aim for about 60% of that. So again, we're not going for full speed. We're going for about 60, 70% of what you can really consider your maximum effort, doing those for the whole time. Then we'll dial it back and we're going to do an interval training. So the interval training is the other main way that we can achieve cardiovascular training. So on these, you go at a steady pace and then you pick it up and you go maximum full speed for a very short portion of time. We're going to go for 15-second intervals. If you were here with me last week, we did the same thing. And then you're going to bring it back down to a lower speed. All right. So that way we train our heart to ramp up its pace and then bring it back down. And so we get a little bit of different type of training out of that. So again, the way we're going to do this is for 1 minute, we're just doing jacks right there. Like I said, about 60% of your effort. Second minute, just moving here, kind of like the circuit training. And then we'll be back to jacks, back to running. That'll be the halfway point. And then we're going to bring it, like I said, we're going to bring it into interval training. So this first part, we'll start here at about 10 seconds. You're just going 1 minute here, 2, a minute here. And I'll be doing it with you guys in case you didn't quite get that. So in 3, 2, 1, we're going for 1 minute. like I said, about 60%, 70% of your maximum effort. So you should be going pretty quickly, but it shouldn't be burning you out too much. It should just be there to raise your heart rate. All right, halfway through on these. "15 seconds left." Okay, your heart rate should be coming up a little bit. I definitely noticed mine doing the same. And in 3, 2, 1, running man. Right there in the chair, elbows cross over, you're reaching for the opposite shoulder. You can kind of lean into it. Try to tuck your chin to your chest, but you can lean in. Just keep this motion going the whole minute. "30 more seconds on this." Almost done. "5 seconds. We're going right back to the jacks. 3, 2, 1. One more minute here. Again, keeping it about that 60, 70% intensity. Heart rate should definitely be up. Respiratory rate should be increased. You should notice you're breathing a little faster. "30 seconds done or through." You guys are nearly at the end of the workout. The hardest part is coming up though. Hardest part's going to be the intervals. Few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and running man. Right there in the seat, last minute. Just keep moving. Again, keep the chin off the chest, but it's okay to lean into this. I definitely have better control when I lean forward a little bit on this. Almost done. We've got 25 seconds left on these, and then I'll break down how we're going to do the intervals. We won't take very long, so we're going to keep our heart rate up. We get a little breather to hear how the next section is going to work. Let's keep it going. 5 seconds. And breathe. Okay, so the last section, same exercises, different formats. So again, we're going for an interval, 15-second interval specifically. So 45 seconds of this are at a lower pace. So bring that intensity down below 60%. You should be aiming for 40, 50% of your top speed. And then when I say go for 15 seconds, you're just going to start knocking these out as fast as you can. Just throw caution to the wind, start moving as quickly as you can there in the chair. Only have to do it for 15 seconds. Then we bring it back down, and we have really kind of slow, controlled running man. And then I'll say go, and for 15 seconds, we're going to be going as fast as you can on that. So we have 4 more minutes. This is the hardest part of the workout. So if you're ready, kind of position yourself. Give you guys about 10 seconds. And again, we're going into this low intensity and then kicking it up to full intensity. All right, starting here in 3, 2, 1, low intensity. Little slower pace on the jacks at first. Just got to keep it moving. Slow, easy motion. And when I say go, coming up here in about 25 seconds, that's when you're going to go as quickly as you can. Don't worry about form too much. Don't worry about anything other than moving at maximum effort for that portion of the extra portion of the minute. 10 more seconds here. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, and full speed, full speed. Start knocking out your jacks right there in the chair. Go full speed. You only got to go 15 seconds, 5 seconds left. And bring it down a notch. Running man there in the chair. A little slower. Let your heart rate come back down. Like I said before, on this one, feel free to lean in. I think it gives you a little more stability. So as we go into that higher intensity portion of this one, if you lean forward, that's okay. Just keep moving the whole time. So right now we're at 1:30. We got 15 more seconds till we're going at full speed. All right, 3, 2, 1, full speed. Lean in, go. As fast as you can move your arms. Right there in the chair. 5 more seconds. And back to jacks. That'll raise your heart rate. I don't care who you are. Again, this is low intensity. Last round of jacks in the chair. Twenty more seconds until we go full speed on these. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1, full speed. Start moving those arms. Stay upright. Move quick, move quick. And bring it down a notch. Okay. Running man, last 45 seconds at a low intensity. So you're still moving. Just shouldn't be too hard. You should actually be able to tell or feel your heart rate. Feel your heart in your chest while you're doing this at this speed. Bringing it back down to a lower pace before we kick it back up in 20 seconds. Ten more seconds. It'll be the last interval, so I want to give you your best effort here. 3, 2, 1, full speed, 15 seconds. Lean into it. Keep moving the whole time. 3, 2, 1, and time. Whew. So that cardio portion was an 8-minute total. You guys did your circuit training for 8 minutes, and we did core for about the same amount of time. So you guys got a lot of consistent work in today. Thank you again for jumping in here with me. If you guys have any questions, as I catch my breath here, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at spencer.hind@gmail.com. You can also find my contact information on Ability 360's website. I think Christian here is putting it into the chat for you guys. So I'd love to answer any questions you guys have for me, anything specific I can answer. I'll gladly reach out and give it back to you. And if you have any other questions about exercise in general, I'd be happy to answer those as well. But that wraps it up for Move United and Ability 360's last workout with me. Thank you guys again for jumping in here, and hopefully I'll get to hear from some of you guys soon.